Calm down. Wow. Okie dokie. I got a big shadow. It's kind of like annoying, but we shall see. Alrighty. I don't really know what I'm doing. Is that obvious that I don't know what I'm doing? Kind of feel like, yes, like it's very obvious that I don't know. What's up? How are you? Oh, let me tell you something. This fucking week. Okay. So I was feeling weird. Hey, Lissa, it's been a minute. Both of y'all, look at y'all coming out the woodwork. So at the beginning of the week, I had some weird shit, like dizzy spells, blurred vision, massive headache. Like I was like, what is going on? And so I was kind of like for 2 days, like so dizzy that it made me nauseous and everything. And then all of a sudden, I get my son had some issues at school, my little one, and he comes home and, I'm like, are we getting the tummy bug? What's happening here? And then suddenly a fever came. And usually when my kids get the tummy bug, they don't get a fever. They just be puking like a fire hydrant, right? And then he decides that the next morning his throat's hurting, and I'm like, oh shit, is this strep? And I'm looking, and I'm like, maybe not, I said, maybe he's got, the C word, COVID. I'm going through, I'm just trying to figure out what's going on, right? And I'm like, I must have given him something. Because, my stomach got a little upset when I was having the dizzy spells. I didn't know what was going on. So I keep him home. It's just been a thing. And then all of a sudden, a rash shows up in his throat, and I'm like, fuck. Any parent knows. We's all about to get this, or at least more than one person. You know what I mean? Because you got a 6-year-old who's like, touching, and I'm like, stop! Right? And so because I was sick, and then he was sick, and then my 13-year-old wakes up this morning like, oh my God, my throat. And I'm like, you know what I mean? So I had to take him to the doctor. He didn't test positive or anything else like that. He doesn't have strep at this point. So my house is a hot mess. And I can't stand it. And here, to top it all off, it's been raining. Oh my God, has it been raining? And do I have children that know how to take their shoes off at the door? No, I have to constantly remind them. Why? Because they're neurodivergent. They have ADHD. It has not made it into the routine. I don't care how old they are, even if they are closing in on 20. And so my floors, and I'm like, oh, and I'm like constantly, so I was like, okay, I'm coming back. And I was like, I'm feeling drawn. I'm totally feeling drawn. I'm doing good now. I'm doing good. I'm so much fucking better. The light still bothers me a bit. I thought I was having migraines and stuff like that at the beginning of the week. But it could have been something else. I hear the COVID. Although I tested myself and it didn't show up. It could have just been upgrades. We all know there's been upgrades going on, and it was a doozy. I have not felt, because it was very similar. I don't know if anybody's gone through those types of things when people have the heart palpitations and stuff like that. And I know some people think that we're really crazy, but when you've been through it a time or two and you always go to the doctor and it's like nothing, you're like, great, just crazy, huh? So you start owning the fucking crazy, just saying. Anyways, it's been a week. I'm better. And I'm praying nobody else gets it. So if you hear noise, which you may not, because he gets to play on his brother's PlayStation, he's all excited. So he's actually preoccupied. But if you do hear noise, it's because I have a child who is sick, but has all kinds of energy. Just saying. We all know this. If you're a parent, you understand what I'm talking about. But I'm feeling good, so here we go. So we're going to do this. And then when I'm done doing this, I'm cleaning. Because I cannot do this It's like they wait till the last minute and all the dirty laundry descends upon me, and I'm like, children, yay. Anyways, okay. So we've got time. We've got time. We ain't got to rush or anything else like that. I'm feeling good. We're with it. I have my second cup of coffee. Yes, it's still half caffeinated, which means technically this is going to be my full cup, right? Like 2 equals 1 when you do half the caffeine. So not much was coming through. Well, kind of. Like I kept feeling like the right here, right now. Like there's just something in the moment. And here recently, I have received, I cannot tell you how many confirmations on my readings. Like people more than ever are saying in real time, shit's happening. I've even had some of my paid readings where they're like, I kind of wonder X, Y, and Z, and that's their question. And I go into some tangent and start saying shit because I don't know what's coming. And they're like, oh my God, we just had this happen yesterday, or we've been talking about that exact same thing 2 days ago. And it's like, for whatever reason, we sometimes go through cycles where it's like spirit will tell you something well in advance, and then you get irritated because you're like, why did you tell me? If it's like, you know what I mean? There's been a lot of real time kind of stuff happening. And that's just what it feels like. I feel like I'm in the very present moment. I'm also getting like a sense of, and I was trying to think of a way to describe it. When you are really good at reading people or reading a room and everything seems per usual, and you're sitting there with your cup of coffee and you're nice and quiet in your own little energy, and you start seeing, let's say you're at work, people walking in. They're not necessarily doing anything different, but shit feels different. And you get the urge to pay attention. You're paying attention. You're like, something's about to go down. Something's happening. You can either sense it in the air and you can sense the energy off of people, but it's almost like this idea of you're watching for something because you just know it's about to pop off, or it's about to happen, or something's about to occur. And there's been a lot of anticipatory things happening for people, like where they've been in that energy and stuff does happen. But this feels very like, I don't know, like you've been watching for something and suddenly, today's the day. Does that make sense? That's the way it feels. Like, you've been at work and you can tell you're like, you just know, like, some people are going to put things together, 1s, 2s, 3s, 2 plus 2 equals 4. You've been predicting some shit's going to go down for a while because you can kind of tell, like, you understand the dynamics and some of the trajectory changes, and while they seem minute and other people may not pay attention to them, you're seeing the bigger picture shit and everything else like that. So you've just been waiting, and suddenly the day comes and you're like, and you can tell nobody else can tell. And you just know some shit about to go down. You just know. That's what it feels like. So it's titled right here, right now, for that very reason. Hello, Elaine. How are you? Kelsey, I just went on a rant about the sickness that's been in my house this entire fucking week. It was like from me, then my little one, and then my middle one today. And I'm like, and how it feels like an upgrade. Like there's like an upgrade also mixed in the mix of that kind of stuff. Like, so. Anyway, here we go. Let's do this. Oh, where are we going? Where are we starting? Where are we going? All right, we're doing the Azathoth Tarot. Starting there. And the funny thing is, like, I don't think that you're acting whoever this is for, whoever I'm reading for, you're not acting any different. Like it's like you've been waiting, you've been anticipating, you've been kind of like seeing the telltale signs. You already know, and then like you just know it's the day. but you don't let anybody know that you know it's the day. Like nothing has changed in your behavior. Nothing has changed in your daily routine. You still got that cup of coffee because everybody knows when you first get in. It's the first, and you ain't saying shit to nobody till you're done because everybody know. Don't talk to me till I'm done with my coffee, right? Like your routine, but you know. That's why you're in the observation. You're not ringing any bells. You're not alerting anybody. And you're not showing it. Not even in your facial expression. That's what it feels like to me. That's what it feels like to me. It got to pop. Well, you're not wrong. I'm just gonna fucking tell you. Like I was trying to say, it has to pop out for me. Like I'm not taking the other ones. It needs to pop all the way out. All the ones that want to go like this and this, and I'm like, no, it has to pop out for me. And so it pops out, and it's like hanging on my hand. I'm like, ugh, and I dump it, and I go to say it. I look at it. I'm like, are you fucking shitting me? First off, let's take a look at this. You may or may not know what card this is. Look at this. Look at this all-seeing eye. Look at this knowing. Can y'all guess what card this is? When I just said the shit's about to go down, something you've been anticipating, and you see it, you feel the energy, and you're like, oh shit, it's about to happen. And you're just over here like, you observing? Could you fucking guess? Let's just, what would be the card? Put it in the chat. What would be the card that, oh shit's happened? Today's the day. It's going down. What would be the card? What would be the card? You would be like, it's this one, isn't it? Go ahead. Any guesses? Any guesses? Come on now, people. I know you got guesses. Have y'all noticed this stupid chat has like a delay? It's on my nerves. Nobody can guess. Thank you, Alyssa. Holy shit, yes, the fucking tower. I mean, if there ever was confirmation, right? Sometimes you wish you didn't know. Sometimes you wish you wasn't right. Am I correct? You're like, oh shit. Like it's the unavoidable. Like it's happening. Because once the tower starts to come down, it fucking comes down. It just comes, you know what I mean? So it's something that you've been, and you're like, today's the day. Oh shit. And you just know. You just fucking know. Like those two are supposed to go together. Okay, this is how we're gonna do it. So these two are gonna go together. I know you can kind of see. So like there's the tower. These two go here. This may be like these two definitely go together. Okay, they came out together as a pair. So let's go here first. We're gonna kind of like go. I don't know why they have me position shit differently all the time. On one hand, we have the Seven of Pentacles. To some, to the untrained eye, can appear or seem like failure, right? Because when you plant your garden, it's the garden. We plant our fucking seeds. We till the ground. We put like fish fertilizer in this patch over here, and then we put nitrogen in the ground over here. We do all kinds of stuff to prep the work, to till it up, aerate it, all that good shit, right? And we plant the seeds exactly how they're supposed to. Some of them need a certain amount of sunlight. Some of them need to be on a mound. Some of them need to be planted where they can grow up something like a vine. And like you did all the work, right? And you wait. And you're like, did I fuck something up? Because ain't nothing coming through. And a watched pot never boils, right? That old saying. And it's like, so you try not to, but you're looking at the seed packets going, 6 weeks. Okay, it's been 7. I fucked something up, didn't I? And unbeknownst to you, it's unnecessary worry because it's breaking ground. 7 of Pentacles is all about something breaking ground. Something coming through. So this Tower moment is what is like the breakthrough on something you felt was you failed at. And if we are in the day of confirmations today, I would say we absolutely, synchronicities are going to be a big time during this reading already, because the Tower moment came out when I said exactly what I said. But how about this? How about on the other side, on the fucking other side of the 7 of Pentacles, where they call it failure, would be the Sun card. Oh, I don't know. The one card in the tarot that's of the major arcana that's called the Victory Success card. This Tower moment has everything to do with something that you feel like you failed at, but you're going to have a massive fucking victory. Because the amount of time that it took, you thought, well, I guess nothing's going to come up. So you must have put some work into something. Even if it was just like mental preparation, right? Like, maybe there wasn't anything you could make moves on, but you made sure that you were ready. And then nothing pop off. You're like, well, I guess I was stupid for thinking that was going to ever, I mean, at least I'm a better person because I did all the work and everything. It's like whatever you did, work and preparation, and a little bit like you were patient. You didn't want to be, but you were patient. Any brand new gardener knows. They're like, I just can't wait for this. I want to see how it grows. And like when you're the first time gardener, you're like, why is it taking so long? I feel like this is probably going to be like one of the first major manifestations of your life, where one that would have a lot of impact. So that tells me, yeah, you were manifesting this, right? So there's a Tower moment that it's like, oh, today's the day. Like it happens. It finally happens. It comes through, and it's a success or a victory where you thought there was failure, because it finally breaks ground. Something breaks ground. Let's take a look at this. Bitch. Are you fucking kidding me? I'm claiming this. You don't have to. I'm claiming it. We have the Ace of Wands. This is something that you have a lot of drive and passion for. You may have almost given up, or you may have just given up on not it, but like how it was going to look. Does that make sense? Like maybe you're like, maybe you're an artist. We're just going to go there with these kind of analogies, right? And you get compliments all the time in your day-to-day life when people see your art and they're like, oh my God, you should do this as professionally. And so then you go and try it and attempt it. And the people who do come across your work are like amazed by it. And you have people constantly still telling you, but shit's not popped off. Like nobody's picked you up for a show. You can't seem to market yourself well. Like you can't get yourself out there. And you're just like, I mean, you're not going to give up on your art because it's a part of you and you love it, right? It's just maybe I'm giving up on the idea that it'll be like a profession, or I could make money at this, or I could make it my full time. Like I could do it all the time. Like maybe there's an aspect you're like, well, I guess that's not going to happen. And it's like, oh, guess what? It fucking is. Because did you know that whatever this is, this Ace of Wands, this is like this spark, the flame that creates the massive fire, right? Like the bonfire. This is the torch that's kept something alive for you. This is the thing that you have passion for, you got desire for. Uh, there's a drive for it. I don't know. Like this is how that pans out for somebody is going to be different for you. Like everybody's going to be different on this, okay? But if there ain't passion behind it, and if there isn't like, if you don't carry a torch for it, when you carry a torch for something, it means that you're having to go through some dark times with it. That's what a torch is for. Okay. Like the torch is also used to ignite greater flames, greater, like there's just this thing where it's like it has the potential to grow. Like the whole point of that, right? So that's what I'm seeing, like with this Ace of Wands. And it's must be something very like connected deeply to you. Like you just feel a connection with whatever this is, with whatever this passion is. Like beyond, it's not a mental thing, like, oh, this would work out great for my life and it'd afford me this and da 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 da. And, oh yeah. And it's beyond like it's that guttural connection to something, right? That soul connection a little bit, where it's like, certain people go in to be an attorney or a lawyer because they love to debate and like their ego gets off on feeling like they win or whatever, right. And then other people have like a deep-seated desire where it feels like it's a calling. Oh, okay. So for somebody, this is a calling. It just feels like it's not a job. It's not a thing. It's not a hobby. It's just like you enjoy this so much, it feels a part of who you are. So like even if you were to give up on trying to make money off of this, you'd never be able to give up on this because it's just a part of you. This would be the person that loves to sing. And even if you never got a record deal, like you're the kind of person that can't help singing and belting out in the shower, who'll hear a new song on the radio and you're like, ooh, and you go in your room and you try to like sing backup vocals, you try to create something new out of it, or you take an existing song that everybody loves and you rework it and you post it on TikTok. Like whether you ever become big at this, it doesn't fucking matter. Like you just do it because it's like you're not yourself if you abandon this. This is the kind of person who is like always felt like they were supposed to be an entrepreneur. Like there's just something they've always felt really drawn to building things, right? And creating something from scratch and stepping into a leadership role. And it's just like you naturally fucking do it. Whether you are the CEO at a company or not, you take the lead in so many aspects of your life with so many people. It's so overtly natural for you. Because we have the fucking star card, y'all. And the star card, one of the interpretations that I really love, and I don't hear very much, is about finding your niche. Because the star card is the star that is in the Hermit's lantern. It is following your North Star home. And if this represents home, then it's finding where you belong. It's finding that niche. It's finding that little, like this is me, right? So, and the star card for me is also about being led, like it's like spirit led. But as always, getting right with and understanding your truth, which is what the Hermit does, and that's why he has his lantern, is following your inner knowing, your inner divinity. So it is like being divinely guided. So there's like this natural guidance of like just like a God-given gift or a spiritual gift that doesn't necessarily, when we say spiritual gift, it's like a divine given gift. Let's just put it that way. It has nothing to do with spirituality necessarily. It's like an innate quality that is so a part of you, a natural talent, that kind of thing. Okay, getting specific here. In real time, you get to watch the tower moment in real time. I was like, how's that got to do with it right here, right now? And I remember them, they kept saying in real time. And it's like, let's say you are the person that sings all the time and you rework stuff and like it's your therapy, it's your thing. It's like it really makes you brings you alive, right? It's not what you do for a living. You may have tried it once and twice and da 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 da. These are just examples, guys. I'm not saying this is what you do, but let's say this is the person that posts something to TikTok and they're sitting there and they keep hearing their phone ding. And they hear, like they leave their notifications on because it doesn't usually blow up. And all of a sudden it's like their phone is going off. And they look in there and it's like they're watching this shit in real time blow the fuck up. Ding, 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 like 100,000, 200,000, 500,000. Oh shit, a lot of people are seeing this. Like they get to witness this almost immediate transfer, this immediate switch from seemingly failing at something to being successful, having a victory. They get to watch this victory in real time. It's like, that's what we call it. Like when we like in the United States, when we have elections and we're watching the numbers pour in of the votes for somebody like the president or whatever, and we're watching it in real time. But somebody's witnessing their own. And that whole time, like I said, analogy that I got from where somebody's sitting there in this office and it's like they've got no evidence. Everybody's moving about their day like normal, but they feel the energy and they've been feeling something coming and they've been, they could almost see it. If they looked, like they were able to take a look at with the eagle eye view, like a Queen of Swords. They're like, something's coming down the pipe. Like they can just sense it, right? And so they're sitting there, they're watching, and it's like they know it's about to happen. But then they get to watch it happen. And the funny thing is, they don't change. Remember, like the image I get is this person doesn't change. They don't flinch. They go about what they're doing. Like they don't call it out. They don't show it to anybody. They don't say anything. They don't like. They're like, huh. There's just something about. That's why it's the tower moment. Your tower moment is to watch your success in real time happen right before your eyes. And you're probably gonna be so fucking flabbergasted, you're like, this shit's not even real. And you probably don't even realize what it's gonna mean for you. It's like you get front row seat to your own positive tower moment, and you have no clue what this is gonna mean after. Imagine the person that's watching things blow up. But you're so used to, even if something good happens, it doesn't mean that your life is going to change. So you still go to bed the night, that night at the same time. You get up in the morning thinking I'm still going to have to go do X, Y, and Z, not knowing that you have your inbox is filled with people going, oh my God, you have so many people duetting it. You have celebrities going, girl, I want to sing with you, or boy, whatever. It's like, and you're like, you wake up the next morning. Oh, I had a reading about this. There was a reading where I was like, there's something about the morning. Something happens the night before, like the day before. And there's something here, like overnight. It's like, it doesn't hit you until the next day, how big that event was. It's like somebody who's in let's say this is your work environment and you've been seeing some shit and you're like, something's about to pop off here. Nobody else seems to know or understand or pick up on things outside of you, but you've been able to pick up on it. And you're like, oh, today's the day. You just can tell it. You can see it and feel the energy. You can see how the boss is moving over there. And you just know it. And then all of a sudden shit hits the fan and you're like, oh. And you're just like, you didn't say shit to nobody. You didn't like, you're just kind of like, okay. And so people left and right are being called into the office and they're being let go. They're being laid off. And something else happens and something else happens. And you're like, okay. And you just go about like, I got to worry about me. You get laid off. You go home and you're like, all right, let me get my resume ready. You're not even thinking. You're not even thinking about like what that's going to mean. And suddenly you wake up the next morning and it's all over. It's national news. That shit blows up like it's not even funny. And now you suddenly realize the company you work for and why it went under and blah, 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 blah. It's like something's bigger than you realize it is. But you're just going about your shit like, okay, like I still got a life to fucking live. There's some energy about that. Funny thing is, it feels, this one is a positive tower moment. Like you have no way of predicting how that's going to pan out for you. Let's say you lose your job. A week later, you're going about your business. You get offered a job at like a competitor, and you're like, this would be like 3 levels above where you were before. Your pay is astronomical. They're willing to, like there's just something. Like the fact that what something feels like a failure is actually your fucking success, but it's almost like instantaneous and you're watching it in real time. Like you are a witness to your own shit. And it's got you like, okay. Hey, Shruti. Oh. Okay, Alyssa. Anything else from this one? I feel like there's one more. Eight of Cups. This tower moment creates something where you invariably have to walk away from something towards something else. Let's say you were that person with something that blew up on TikTok. Sorry, but 2 to 3 million people just saw what you can do. You have people trying to contact you, wanting to meet with you, talk to you. Like, you don't, like, there's just no going back to the way it was before. Right? Like, the whole point of the Eight of Cups is you walk away from these full cups that anybody else would love, that at some point served a great purpose in your life or were very fulfilling, to go to your Nine of Cups, your ultimate wish, your ultimate desire, your Ace of Wands. It's like walking away from your old life for your new one. And the funny thing is about these cups, they really intertwine. Each of these cups is full, not just with water, but with like a sea creature. But they're even interconnected because they're showing me, and this is significant. Something about like, let me try to get a little bit closer. You see how like there's a tentacle that goes from this cup to this cup, and then from this cup to this one, from this one to this one to this one. And it's like they're all interconnected. Like, to go to the Nine of Cups, it's a stark change. That's why it's the Tower moment. Like the whole no going back kind of scenario. This would be the epitome of walking away from your old life to your new one. And it just shows that there's a number of factors. They're so intrinsically entwined that if you walk away from one thing, you're walking away from a lot of things. An example would be you get offered a job in a new city, so you have to leave your hometown. But when you leave your hometown, you're not just leaving your hometown, you're leaving, maybe you're moving states, maybe you're moving so far away that you have to leave property, you have to leave, you can only take certain things from your home, like, it's too expensive to transfer all of that, so you leave that, you leave friends, you leave familiarity, you leave people, family, friends, your old haunts, you have to leave your nostalgia. Like, there's a lot that you just leave behind. So this seemingly going from what you have deemed as failure on some level to success in regards to something very specific, something nichey, something like guided, like internally propelled and guided towards, that's almost like a part of you. And it literally, it's the old adage of to get something you sacrifice something. But never in the Eight of Cups does he feel like he is. It's not a Three of Swords, guys. The Eight of Cups is, I'm ready, willing, and prepared for this. It's willingly walking away from something to go towards something else. It's that ninth cup. True, genuine contentment. Wish fulfillment. Okay. In the real time. My neck is stiff. Where are we going from there? Madame Doros, fortune telling cards. Tell me about that. Hold on. I'm going to ask it a question. I am feeling something out with this one. It's curious. Let me tell you what I've got over here. We've got unforeseen forces watch over you. We then have true feelings are masked. And love and prosperity. Now, true feelings are masked and love and prosperity are were what came out first. And it's this energy of the whole like you knowing something's about to pop off, knowing something's about to happen. And even when it does happen, you don't necessarily have an emotional response. You don't let anybody see anything different from you. In fact, leading up to this event, you're not letting people see your true feelings. Like if you're worried, petrified about something, sad, like people wouldn't know. People wouldn't know. Just like that whole idea, like that the energy of the office sitting there, and it's like you suddenly fucking know, and you're like, oh shit. You go about your day. You keep doing shit like you always do. You're not letting on to no motherfucker. It's almost as if people don't really know. You're not showing what that sense of failure that you were thinking you were experiencing with the Seven of Pentacles. You didn't show that to people. You didn't verbalize it. You didn't speak on it. In fact, whatever it is that you love with the Ace of Wands so much, that feels so much a part of you, you may have quit sharing that aspect of you with other people. In the sense of like your circle. Like you may have still indulged in it. You may have still had people that be like, oh, that's really great. Or like maybe the occasional stranger, but most certainly people wouldn't really know, one, how that sense of failure impacted you or affected you, how much you still wanted that and wished for it. You didn't really speak on, and you didn't really tell anybody that you thought something good was going to come around. Like I get the sense of an anticipation of something coming, but it's almost like you didn't want to tarnish it. You didn't want to jinx it. You didn't want to jinx something, so you didn't speak on it. Nobody would have known. I mean, you just, in interactions with you, wouldn't have known. But there's also this thing of, I think there is an underlying sense of going with the flow with that. Like, you were like, okay, I guess that aspect of it wasn't meant to come about. So you just kept going along and had this like knowing that things were going to work out, right? Like this is going to work out how it needs to, how it's meant to. And even if this aspect seems like a failure to me, or that this didn't pan out, you still had a knowing that things were going to be okay though. Like your whole life wasn't just distraught because of this, is what I want to say. Like maybe spirit was the only one that really knew how you felt. You know those people who just who have this rich world internally and no one would really know what they're thinking or feeling? That's what this feels like. And it's like, okay, there was like an acceptance of something. While you're not giving up what you love, you're like, okay, I guess that's just not going to. At least this aspect isn't going to happen like I thought, and that's okay, you know. And I don't know why I want to say this, but it's like, despite whatever you thought wasn't going to happen, you were like, I'm still watched out for. Like, it's still going to work to my benefit, though. Like life is still going to be good, though. Like something good is still going to pop off. Like I feel it, even if that wasn't it. Like there's a higher plan. Like there's a higher plan. But this feels like also it's the old adage of like spirit's got my back, like, or something's got my back. Okay. There's an acceptance. And on the other side, we have the love and prosperity, and it feels like you may not. I mean, it directly has something to do with something that like we've talked about, the Ace of Wands, something you love, that you wanted to, that you felt like would usher in a lot of prosperity in your life. You felt like this would be the abundant route, the right route. Like maybe it's the whole following your heart and then being prosperous because of it, right? So if this seemingly interpreted failure that you feel is a failure, you may not, you don't share how much it impacts you and how close it is to you. At least not with the people that are around you. And I wanted to get like, I also feel like this transfers over. It's like, it's the person that's before the shit pops off, they're like, oh shit, something's about to go down. And you're just watching. But also as it happens in real time, you're like, you still don't react to it. There's no reaction to this. There's nothing boastful. There's nothing like, I don't know, like you're still waiting to see. Like, is this real? And that's where the true feelings are masked. I feel like whatever happens before this tower moment, you're stoic. You're not showing shit. There might be a lot going on internally, but you ain't showing shit. And then once this happens, as it happens, like, how like sometimes we're at the Olympics, right? And they're watching something and they'll pan to like the parent or the spouse and they're just like stoic, or the coach, and the coach is like, and then something happens and the coach is like, and it's like they don't change anything, right? Like they keep, that's what it feels like to me. Because when I ask about the true feelings are masked, we have what comes out again? The Ace of Wands. That passion, that drive, that desire. It's like people don't know how bad you wanted this. So tell me why I feel like. And then we have success. It's the minor arcana to the major. We had the Sun, which is about victory and success. And now we have the Six of Wands. No one knows how bad you want this. That was probably by design. Tell us about the tower itself, if you don't mind. Like, this person gets to witness this in real time. As it unfolds, they're witnessing this. And their life is obviously, because of what's about to happen, they know it's going to change. And for the better, but they may not know it immediately. They like, to what degree and in what area? Like, how's this actually going to impact me? And it might not be until like the next day when it finally lands, when it hits. Expand on this a little bit for me, Spirit. Thank you. How's everybody doing? be a level of shock to it. Like, you might have to take a moment to go, what does this mean? Like, it's like someone, okay, I don't mean to be dramatic. I'm not trying to be dramatic. I hate drama. This is not a soap opera, okay? Real life is not a soap opera. But it's like, where some people may jump up and down and scream and they're like, they're very animated with this. I feel like the gravity starts to hit and it's like someone's sitting with it to figure it out. Like, what does this really mean? Like, I'm picturing somebody going and checking a lottery ticket, right? And they realize it's a winner. And they've never experienced it before. So it's one of those things where it's like, maybe you've always played the lottery every single week for the last 20 years. You never fucking win more than $2. And so if there's a history of failure, it's like, I don't know why I do this, but I keep doing it. You know, it's like a thing for me. And it's like, you go to check it and it's different. And you're like, and you tuck it away and you go home and you're like, it's like a disbelief. It's like, it needs to land. And like, is this even real? And you look at it again. You don't go out telling a bunch of people. You don't go out, you're like, is this for real? And you might check the numbers again a couple of times and you just sit with it. You're like, it actually happened. That's what they're trying to get to. It actually happened. There's an energy where you're like, it actually happened. Sometimes we just got to go along for the ride when they're trying to show me something. It actually happened. There's a level of disbelief. You want to tell me why the Queen of Swords comes out? And the thing, I never pay attention to this. It never made sense why they put the wording like this at the bottom of this card. And for whatever reason, this is the first time I've ever had it apply in a fucking reading. Ever. Like, ever. But at the bottom of this Queen of Swords, right down here, at the very last little bit, it literally says, seeing the humor in a situation. Queen of Swords is that eagle eye view, the being able to zoom out from something and understand. Like, when you're too close up, you may not really understand. Like, you ever seen those videos where someone's like really zoomed in on something and it doesn't make sense? Like an arm. Let me show you something. Let me show you something. Like when you're so zoomed in, right? Let's say there's a, and it looks like this. You want to tell me if you were totally zoomed in, what this would look like right here? We used to do this in school. And somebody like, what am I looking at? And then it zooms out and you're like, oh, it's like that. Because the Queen of Swords, it's like whatever happens gives you a greater view. And I don't know why I get this, but it's literally like, almost like from the greater view, I want to say you realize there wasn't as much of a reason to be as worried as you were. Seven of Pentacles is often the no need to worry card. Like, because it's not that it's a failure, it just hasn't popped through yet. And Spirit, it's almost like I feel Spirit is laughing at the situation. Like, look at how fucking worried. Like, you see that shit, you really feel like, come on. We've seen it over and over again in movies where like the main character really thinks something's going to happen. And it doesn't. And they're just sad and they're just blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden, surprise, like something happened. Like it comes out. And they're just so excited. And it's like, it's almost like laughable that you felt like this wasn't going to occur. Like maybe the way you behaved because you thought something was a failure, like either how dramatic you got with yourself internally, because you obviously you weren't showing, your feelings were masked to other people, but somehow how you characterize something within you. It's like they want to be like, you are so fucking dramatic. Oh my God. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I imagine somebody having a sassy, animated drag queen as a guide who is like, girl, did you fucking see what you did? You remember when you were saying last night, blah, 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 blah? And you're like, it's almost embarrassing. And it's like, you were all worried and everything. And why won't you tell me, spirit? And why won't you? Like, you're just like, I mean, dramatic internally. Did not, nobody, no, which is probably good. Oh, it was by design. It was by design. Like, nobody needed to see you be as fucking dramatic as you really were internally. I'm just going to say that much. Like, the fact that you were like, has saved face for you. You have saved face. I'm just going to tell you. It's like somebody who, we've all met those people who panic. And it's like, you don't even know the answer yet. Quit worrying. Like, they go to get a test. Right? They think they're pregnant. Oh my fucking God. It's my period's one day late. And they have an ever-loving fucking meltdown. And they do all kinds of dramatic shit. And it's like, you're like, what? You are unhinged. Oh my God. It's like, you know, like your internal reaction was so much more dramatic, is what it feels like, than the circumstance called for. But you did hide that from people. Just saying. You hid that aspect. And good on you, because holy shit, you'd look dumb. But don't worry, Spirit's over here going, what was you saying 2 days ago? Like, you know what I mean? Because there's like seeing the humor in a situation, which I gotta be honest with you, you're not gonna think it was very funny. It really feels like you're like, you may feel dumb. You're like, oh God, you may laugh at yourself at some point. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's something about this. There is seeing the humor in a situation. Are you shitting me? I just keep hearing unnecessary worry. Unnecessary worry. You really thought you weren't going to get this. You really thought it wasn't for you. You really thought, oh, I got another thing. I got another meaning with this. You really thought by following your inner calling and your passion and your inner knowing and divinity within, being divinely guided to follow your passion, that somehow it wasn't going to work out and that you would have to walk away from it. Honey, no, you're walking towards it. Okay. Seeing the humor in a situation. That's curious. I don't do reversals, guys. And like when I shuffle, I do it so that I'm not flipping the deck for it to be like, you know, whatever. So it's weird when one ends up, I mean, I don't know how I did it. I don't, you know. I try to go through periodically to make sure things are upright, but shit just happens. And something comes out, you know, and it felt intentional. It goes with the message. We have the Dreamer, which is a full card, and it says, follow your dreams, unexpected opportunities. And then it's literally like the Five of Pentacles in reverse. You thought you were left out in the cold. You thought you were that your land was barren. Your garden wasn't going to bear fruit. You really thought that. But that time was just like there was a hermit. It was really getting you to truly follow your calling, your truth, your North Star home. Because if you're so easily swayed by the barren land and how long it takes for something to bear fruit, then maybe you're really guided by your ego and not your truth. Because if this was enough to deter you, if the Five of Pentacles was enough to deter you from this, then this really wasn't for you. You weren't following it, or you weren't going to it, and you weren't doing it for the right reasons. But you persevered. You just changed your understanding of it. It's too much of who you are. And it's almost like your ego was getting in the way. And so like you were getting caught up on the fact that there was a failure there because you weren't successful. And it was like, it's never a failure if you are being truthful and authentic to who you are. If you indulge in the things that make you happy, that feel like they're a part of you, and you do it regardless, no matter what, then you've already won. You're owning you, you're owning your truth, you're standing in your power. It's like they needed you to see that whatever this was isn't a factor to determine your worthiness. It's just a part of who you are. This creative aspect, this passion, this desire to be the leader, an entrepreneur, like that's just who you are. Whether you have money or not, whether you have a following or not, whether you have like you need to own the fact, because your ego is in there with all kinds of shit. See, this can't be. Like you keep thinking this is like something that's like, you think this is a part of you, you can't even fucking do it. Bitch, please. You should just give up on it. And you know what you did? You didn't. You said, okay, fine. Maybe it's not going to look like this in my life, but I'm not giving up on this. Ego didn't win. And because you chose it for the right reason, because you saw it for what it was, a piece of you. You chose not to forsake an aspect of yourself because ego determined. It's like ego was trying to tell you, it was like you thought that was a part of you. That's not you. You thought that this is something for, like, I don't know. Like ego was really trying to get you to forsake an aspect of yourself. See the humor in this situation. You was really wrapped up in believing this wasn't. It's like the person who draws certain things and other people will look at it and be like, I don't get it. And because people didn't get it, it felt like a judgment on who they are. Like they should be ashamed of it. It's owning your motherfucking weird is what it is. Whatever that may be. And so it's literally, they're like, all you had to do is drop the ego. You couldn't tell what was the ego and what wasn't. And that was the problem. That's what took so long. You know, when the seed packet said it should pop up in 6 weeks, and you're like, it's been 7. And you were so sure and hell-bent that ego wasn't involved. You're trying your damnedest to ignore ego. And you're like, ego's, and spirit's like, ego is still winning in this. When you made that decision, that proverbial decision that something was, and recognized it for what it was, a part of you, the energy shifted, it changed. It's like something happening in your life and you going, you knowing something is the truth and standing by it no matter what, and a lot of people telling you you're wrong. And so you start to go, God, am I really wrong? Am I? And it's like you start to doubt yourself, you start to question things, you start to allow certain people or situations to influence you. And eventually you come to the place you're like, I'm not fucking wrong. I'm seeing this correctly. I'm seeing this correctly. And your perseverance creates a success. Your belief in who you are, despite external validation, your knowing and owning your intuition and owning that guttural instinct, whether it's a talent, an aspect, or just you following your intuition and your knowing. And I don't care who told you were wrong or how many times you were gaslit or how many runarounds you got. You're like, I may not be able to get X, Y, and Z, but I fucking know I'm right. And it's almost as if, like, I don't know why I want to say this, but I feel like they're giving me the instance of, and they're reminding me an instance with my son where, we want to get an official diagnosis of something, right? Anybody who has a health concern, you get gaslit, whether it's mental health or physical health, and you go and see people after people, and they're like, it's all in your head. You're not really feeling this. And I've done this test and this test. Oh, I brought that up about how, like, I've got the real symptoms. I know they're here. Something's going on, and it's like, and instead of waiting for someone to say, yes, you've got it, you're like, you know what? I'm doing my own motherfucking research. And you trust yourself and you own it. And so you start learning things, holistic things. You start finding home remedies, and you start taking the initiative to do shit. And through that, you start to heal yourself and you start to do things. And through that, you find out what's wrong. And through that, you ask for a specific test. And when that test comes back, them motherfuckers find out you were right this entire fucking time. And so do you. But you had to know you were right, whether you had the external validation, and that you also had the power within you to do something about this. That you had the, you know what I'm saying? Like, there was a need to choose this or to do something for the right reason. Not because you got the green light from somebody, but because you're like, your belief, I know me. And just because other people don't validate it or don't acknowledge it doesn't mean that I'm not motherfucking good. It would be like me assuming that somehow I'm not good at what I do as a reader, because I really, really, really wanted external validation, either the numbers or for people to keep coming back and saying, oh, you were correct on this. You know how many times people are like, I don't get it. What's going on? Like, this doesn't even sound right to me. It hasn't happened yet. And then, poof, I get a message 1 year, 2 years later, 6 months later. This happened, this happened, this happened. I'm like, you mean how I said back in X, Y, and Z? And they're like, oh. Could you imagine how many times I've been told I'm wrong? It hasn't happened yet. I mean, that's enough to make a person start doubt their own fucking intuition and their own psychic abilities, right? Like, maybe I shouldn't do this if I can't really help people. And then you stick with it because you believe in yourself. And you're like, no, I fucking know. I don't need everybody to come, you know what I mean? Like you don't let other people's inability to receive the message from spirit to be a reflection on your actual talent and ability. You keep going. You keep going. You keep pushing forward. You keep doing it. And then like a wave, people from woodworks come out and they're like, oh, and this happened. And you're like, I swear I've had people say, this didn't happen. And then they'll come back to me and say X, Y, and Z. I was like, but didn't you tell me that that didn't happen? When I said this, this, and this, isn't that the same fucking thing? And they're like, now imagine me catching my motherfucking worth and questioning my abilities because other people can't see. No. And what if validation was withheld from me until I owned that I know what I'm doing? And then the people came out going, oh my God, this is what's happened. This is what happened. Da, da, da. You know what I'm saying? Like there's so many things, so many times. And it's like, and to think you doubted yourself. Silly little girl. So bringing this back to the idea of you're going to witness this in real time, like it's going to unfold right before you. It also kind of goes with that energy of, are you shitting me now? Like now I get this. This is their response to now you get this. They're like, yeah, now you get it. I want to know about this tower moment, please. And this can happen in so many ways, right? Like, I mean, it isn't just like there's like that thing that you're passionate about and that you're like driven to go after. You just know that Ace of Wands can also just be like something that you're like, no, I know, like a truth, you know, to be true. And so you pursue that no matter what. It may not be a project. It may not be career. It may not be, but it's something you put time into though. And I guess you would have to, if it's something that you know and nobody else seems to either agree with or they fight you against, that would take energy and effort on your part, wouldn't it? Even if it's all internal, like, no, like work that was done, they're like, no, I know. And you had to work through that shit internally. You may have had to keep quiet to a certain degree. Gift. Let's about this tower moment, please. Let's talk about this. Okay, we're doing this different scenarios of what this tower moment is. I was like, why is it getting so specific? And they're like, like you do. For somebody, the gift is the person that you thought was no longer it, or that you thought that it's just not going to happen. It's not going to go there. Whatever else it is. You thought it was dead, done, and over with, and it's not. You thought something was a complete failure, like this isn't going to happen. And you're stupid for believing it. Because I feel like this is a specific person to somebody, the main male. And you just chalked it up to, okay, like I know there's a person for me out there, but maybe it just wasn't this person. And then something comes around, you're like, are you shitting me now? Because before you were choosing it with your ego. Like you couldn't be wrong. No, Spirit said it was this one. Or no, I know this is my person. And so you started pursuing them because because of some label, because of some incessant need to have been right, to have been proven to be right. And as soon as you let go of that, the opportunity to be with this person, the person for the right reasons, well, then that comes in. Commitment. How else is this tower going to show up for some people? Distant horizons. This is literally a premonition or a dream, a vision you've seen coming true right before your eyes. Because this is the wish card in this deck. This is the dreams and the fantasies and the desires, and it would be the 9 of Cups. It is like, because this ship is in the sky. It's like that pie in the sky kind of thing. And it's making strides towards that. It's the realization of a dream. This might be love for somebody. I mean, for a second fucking time, we literally have 9 of Cups. This is like finding true love, meeting your person, a divine counterpart. Maybe you were like, okay, maybe I don't have a person for me. What else? For who else? I get quiet sometimes, guys. If I'm listening and I'm like asking questions, that's what I'm doing. I don't narrate that for y'all when I'm asking questions and stuff. I have like a swirling of, I'm asking them, because the courtship card does not feel like relationship when it comes out in this one. And I'm asking them the scenarios, and I keep getting new scenarios being introduced. So I'm trying to find a way to articulate it without giving y'all 20 different fucking scenarios for one goddamn card. It's like, what is this? And it's like, I'm trying to give you, it's like the idea, this is something coming in. Okay, the courtship card can be a meeting, a new contact, a new person, a new partnership or contract, it can be a job interview. So like it can be business or pleasure. right? Or it could just be a chance encounter, things like that, right? And so, in trying to articulate, like, get more specific with this, whatever it is, it feels like if it's a chance encounter, like you felt like maybe there'd be somebody, like you just wanted to make a connection with somebody that could give you the leg up in something, right? Like, if I could just find network with the right people, if I could just if I could just get this interview, if I could just get a job, if I could just whatever. You kept feeling you were worried that you missed out on this opportunity. We got concerned with the thief card. And this is like missing out on time because, he's pocketing, like you were distracted. Somebody was distracted, and someone's like missing out. He's stealing his pocket watch, which is like time running out. Like you're worried that time is running out for something to happen, to either make connections or to get a job or to, that kind of thing. And it's like, you feel like time is running out. And for whatever this is, whether it's getting a job or making connections or, getting that leg up or even love, I'll throw that one in there too. And so what it is like, it has preoccupied your mind. Like you feel like, and here's the thing, whatever this is impacts your, I feel like somebody has either a real time frame that's been imposed on them or has a self-imposed time frame. Like something needs to happen by a certain time and they're worried they're running out of time, like the opportunity to have something come in. And that might be the funny thing. It's like, did you really think this is going to come in time? Like someone feels like they're running out of time. And with the tower, we were getting like, you were watching this, you knew something was coming down the pike, you just weren't sure when, and you may have felt like, oh, I guess it didn't happen. Like there's a sense of failure, right? It's like, and I feel like it has everything to do with your home life. I can't get, either it is, yeah, this is home. The house card can be about stability and everything, but this is literally like, this is where you fucking live. Period, fucking point blank. Just saying. Right? So like maybe somebody's lease is coming up, or maybe there's like, I don't know. I mean, just like, you're like, well, if I get a job, I need to have one by X, Y, and Z, or else I'm homeless. Or if I do, like, there's some kind of time constraint on somebody. And it's like you see something coming down the pike. And I guess maybe you feel like your chance of it coming to fruition, like is gone. It's consuming your mind a lot. And I want to say, I get the feeling of like, if I could just, if I could just this, if I could just that, like if I could just find someone that could help me out, if I could just find, like, maybe you've been working on this passion, whatever this project is, this Ace of Wands, like this thing that feels like it's so much a part of who you are. It's so intuitive. It's an aspect of yourself. Like, and you're like, you feel like the time, like you need to be discovered, right? Chance encounters, meetings, business meetings, like your time is depleting for you to be discovered, for you to be, I don't know, because it preoccupies your mind. It's in your thoughts a lot. You've been trying to plan and figure something out, and it's like, and whatever this is, it feels like your home environment or where you live or circumstances around that have helped to create this time constraint. It's weird. I hope somebody understands what I'm saying. And you think it's like finding a new home at the last second. It's like getting that job at the last fucking minute. Like it's been in your mind a lot. you feel like it's too late for something. And because the home card could be your niche, right? Home with community, because the community is like where you belong, your support. Like this could be your niche, like finding your place in the art world, being the artist, and like there's just no room for me here. Like time's running out, you know what I mean? And I'm gonna have to really focus on real world things and get a real world job. And I don't know why I'm saying it like that, but like, and it's like before you know it, like you feel like at the last minute. At the last minute, it happens. I cannot help but feel like there's some kind of time constraint around this coming in. And for some people, it has absolutely everything to do with maybe a person being a pivotal part in trajectory change for you, but like it has something to do with home. Like for somebody out there, it has everything to do with home. And the only thing that my human brain can think of is like, well, gosh, finding a place. People can't find places anymore, at least not in the United States, like that are affordable. And it's like, I gotta find somewhere. And it's like you find a place at the last minute. Or a person who's worried they need to get a job in order to be able to keep their home. Or someone's like, hey, you know what? If I don't start, like, some people won't move. Like they only want to move. Like maybe somebody's like had been hoping to move for a long time and it's not happening. And you're like, because kids can play a factor in when you can and can't move. You know what I mean? And it's like, this needs to happen before my child starts school again. Like, like this, like needing to do it in the summer. Like you have a time frame. You know what I mean? And it's like thinking like, oh, I guess that's not going to happen. So for somebody, it's like something happens weirdly in real time and you're witnessing it and you're like, you almost can't believe it's actually happening. And you're like, is this shit real? And it has something to do with your home environment where you are. Okay, what about for anybody else? Okie dokie. Okay. If you are a masculine, your motherfucking ass is about to elevate. We've got the main male, high honor, which is like getting promotions, jobs, elevation and status. Oh, I shit you not. The main male becomes the wealthy male. And this tower moment is you getting word of it, you getting the invitation, you getting the offer. We've got the message with the path card. It's a place at a distance. There's a masculine here that's going to get elevation and status. And I feel like it has everything to do with an opportunity that might be at a distance or just a completely new path. That's somebody. That was specific shit. If we could do more like that, that'd be great. I feel like people would really like that. Anything else? It's 128. What would this? Okay. Power moment for somebody else. We have an older male who's been experiencing stress around money is what I want to say. We've got literally bad health, mature male, poverty, and there's some kind of either meeting or connection that is made. I do feel I feel legal documents off of this. I get like a negotiation that needs to be made or like mediation. Like I get like a mediate, like I do feel like this is like contracts or like legalities. Sorry, give me a second. Which again, we have the family room. Either there might be an older male that has some kind of like, gosh, if we're having family with this, it feels legal. It has something to do legally. This can be either apartment or family. So someone may actually get some kind of like connect with somebody in regards to something legal about either where you live, or for somebody it could be family related. And then I've got the feminine with, okay, when you get this specific, only you know if it's for you, okay? Because we've got the female, but then also the female receiving a message of concern, like either a delay or a message of concern. And somehow this feminine will play a factor for this masculine, whoever it is. And I feel like it's like an answered prayer. So there's going to be a feminine that will play a factor in some kind of concerns, maybe financial concerns for somebody. Courtship can be friends, even like colleagues, that kind of thing. And it's like you know, like your peers, like someone that's in the same arena as you, kind of thing. And I feel like this feminine is facing certain things, and this masculine is eyeing this feminine, and it's like she is the answer to something. Because we've got the wish card, and then like this feels like a wish is granted, and it brings an end to stress, to whatever the issue is. So we're going to be that fucking specific, because that is very specific. I guess maybe I shouldn't have clarified what that tower meant. Whatever this, in real time, you're literally watching a failure turn to success in real time. Anything else? What about, and like I said, remember we have the Five of Pentacles in reverse. So whatever what you were doing without, like, you get it, and it's like your perseverance pays off. You follow through, whatever it turns into. Yes. Okay. Just a couple more, and then we'll wrap this shit up. So the only one that popped up straight is the coffin card, which is like something dead, done, over with. I feel like there's no more obsessing over something that you are worrying about, or there's like no more delays to plans, right? Because message of concern is like a delay. The thoughts card would be analyzing, planning, that kind of stuff. There's like an end to the delay in someone's plans to move and go down a new path. We've got the journey card, which is all about moving. It's about going somewhere, a place at a distance. And then we have a feminine card, and then we have the pathway card, which is transformation. picking a new path, but it too is a distance card. So I can't ignore that shit. You have a feminine that's being flanked by 2 distance cards, which means to me there's something about going somewhere, moving. Like whatever this tower moment is, it stops a delay in someone's plans. Just as when you thought you would have to like abandon that, like these plans have something to do with this Ace of Wands, this truth of yours, this it's who I am. So maybe about your business, but it's like shit's going to move forward. There's going to be a new path created. And there's something about somewhere at a distance playing into a factor of it. And you're going to be in disbelief. You're like, are you shitting me? Why is the journey mixed in with this? Journey and pathway card. You want to explain that? Someone's wish fulfillment or true desire. Who the fuck are these people? Is wrapped up in like a place at a distance. That's all I can say. Like someone's got like okay. So here's the dealio. We've got a whole bunch of motherfuckers that are involved in this, and I feel like whatever it is, okay, the end of the delays on plans you've had is, the plans you've been trying to make. You've been trying to exercise something. You've been trying to bring something to fruition. It wasn't working. You thought, well, okay, fine. And it's like maybe the energy behind why you were trying to do it is to get away from somebody, to escape somebody, because you wanted to prove to yourself that it was really meant for you, but you weren't getting the validation that you were seeking. Whatever it is, obviously the reason you were going for it, the energy wasn't right behind it. You've now said, like, you've changed that and you're getting it. And in the meantime, I feel like the reason they're saying this, there's a feminine that's getting the fuck away from some people. I'm just saying this, okay? Because you got the pathway, which is the pathway clears, right? Shit opens up. A new pathway opens up and you're able to move. There's a trajectory move, the journey. You're able to go forward and get away. And I feel like those are 2 distance cards. It's like you're doing it for the right reasons. You're doing it for you because it's a part of you, because you feel like, and that's the reason. It's like you're no longer forsaking that aspect of yourself. And so you're getting away from some people. There's this wealthy male, mature woman, and some false fucker over here. Like this is a whole bunch of people, and I feel like this takes you away from these motherfuckers. That's all I can say. So if you recently have been like believing that your shit, like, was it like you just were like, okay, fine, and you felt like you were always going to be stuck somewhere, and you're like, that's okay, I guess my dream isn't, maybe that was your whole fucking dream. You felt drawn, Ace of Wands, like you belonged somewhere different. Like you were like, that's where I should be. Like there's people that I know that they're like, I don't belong here. Like I don't, oh my God. Right. And so they feel drawn to a particular place, a particular country, a particular whatever. And it's like, so they're like, I'm going to go. But like what fuels them is the desire to, oh my God, I can't stand it here. I don't like these people. I just get like, it's more of a fuck you to somebody versus like, no, I'm choosing me. I'm going there because it's like whatever the energy was behind it before wasn't good and hasn't been okay. Last time. I'm trying to get details, and I feel like this is going to be for somebody. Every time I pull from this deck, it's for somebody different. I'm just saying. Guys, how this pans out, what it looks like. Sudden wealth. La, 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 la. For somebody else, this is like sudden freedom from something that was imprisoning them. I feel like it's money. Money comes in and lifts a burden off of you. It lifts limitations, like whatever you were trying to do, even if it was build a business, if it was like trying to move, like whatever it is that you were trying to do that you knew you were doing, that you needed to do for you, right? Eventually, your draw or will was like, I just need to make money. Like, and then it was for the sake of just making money because you couldn't stand the fact that you weren't making money. And it was like the whole reason got tainted from your egos. Your ego was tainting it. And it's like your money's coming in. Money is going to be the factor that helps alleviate something and gets things moving. And it's like, that's what the tower is. It almost reminds me of that little analogy I gave you of like somebody winning the lottery and they're like, they almost can't believe it. I knew help was going to come in some way. I stopped. I felt like, okay, I guess it's not really going to happen because it was so delayed and maybe it's so last minute that when it happens, you're like, are you shitting? And you get to see it and you're like a witness to your own victory. And now there's no more missing out on your dream. You can make it a reality. Sometimes if I ask a certain question, like if I try to go for details, it can take us in 20 different directions. I'm just saying, right? Because obviously it's a collective reading and it goes for so many different people. And like, even in just the cards that come out, it's like the amount of times that they let me tackle a situation. Every card that comes out gives me a different perspective on the same situation. And every time you look through a crystal ball, it's like, or any crystal, like every millimeter of that surface has a different viewpoint, right? Of the same fucking thing. And that's what the way my readings are. It's like like shit comes out and it's like I can hit it from every angle with each new card that comes out to help people understand the dynamic of what's happening. But it's like you're going to witness something in real time. And you may have had to like wear a mask while waiting for this. People may have no clue how much you wanted this. Or how much the pursuit of this impacted you. It reminds me of people, those people who could be going through something so emotionally traumatic and they will use humor. It's like, I remember like certain celebrities like Robin Williams, like no one knowing what they're really going through. You'd never know. That's what it feels like. So. Oh my gosh. I just read, at least you're not wearing diapers yet. And I'm thinking I need to catch up on the conversation because what the fuck? Now he's doing good. He's still out of school. It's still swollen. He just got his second dose of medicine this morning. So I anticipate like having him bounce off of walls by the afternoon because when it really fully kicks in, he starts really feeling better. Y'all know how that goes. He'll have a reserve of energy because he's been chilling. As soon as they get better, they're like, woohoo! I just know. I already know. And my house is a mess. Yeah, okay. Cool. Must be a sight to see. Wait, what the fuck? Where are we going? I didn't know y'all were talking so much. The day is good. Snow is melting. Well, that's good. And birds are singing. I fucking love birds. Y'all know me. I'm sorry. Like, I will just sit outside to hear them. Like, they are my soul tribe. Okay. Like, I'm the bird lady. Just letting you know. Um, Troy, where the hell do you live that you've got like a foot of snow? You don't have to give specifics. I'm just asking for like, are you in the Himalayas? Are you in Utah? Like what, like you don't got to give specifics though of where you live. But what the fuck? Just never had the chance. Or wait, what? You ever got on a horse in your life? Why are we going there? Like what? This whole conversation is everywhere. Like, where did that question come from, Troy? Have you ever gotten on a horse in your life? I'm like, even Manishka's laughing and she's like, no, just never had the chance or what? Look at y'all. Troy, your ADD is showing. Can I just say that? Love you to pieces, but you're all like, it's great if you ever. That's me. That's me and my kids. Out of nowhere, we just ask a random question. You're like, what? Okay, now I'm okay. So I'm on David now. I totally skipped over that one. Wow, that sounds like me, old male. I totally did not mean to make you sound like that. But I did when I picked up the card. All I heard was an older man. Would that be for you? My heart will explode first. Again, I don't fucking know where we're going with these things. Oh, because Troy's like, are you wearing diapers yet? Troy, where is your brain today? Like, I feel like you and I could hang out and have lunch and have a good conversation because we would both be going all over the place. And so David's like, nope, my heart's gonna explode before I ever need a diaper. Okay. Troy. Troy. I feel a summer vacation coming on. Cause like I need to get I don't know, Alberta may not be anywhere where I want to travel. I don't know. But like Canada has some of the best like hiking fucking ever. Right? Like best waterfalls and lakes and rivers and creeks. Like that's up my alley. Can I just say? I thought I had that. Wait, what? Where are we at, guys? How are you doing? Great reading. How's the little one going? I thought I had that last year. Oh, the sore throat. A whole bit, but it was COVID. Surprised the hell out of me. Well, see, we saw the rash. At first, I thought it was COVID too, because that's a part of one of the strains. And I had some weird symptoms, so I was like, maybe I gave him something. And I kept looking at his throat and looking, and he's like, it just hurts right here. It wasn't here, which strep a lot of times will get here because of the tonsils, right? And so, but he was like, it's right here. And I was trying to figure it out. And I was like, hey, maybe it's just, that's why I thought it was COVID because it was right there. And then, so he's like, he was good. He was good. I kept checking it. And I was like, okay, well, there's a fever. There's something, sometimes that can happen with COVID. COVID doesn't mean you have snot coming out your, whatever. And so then I come back from doing some work and I look in his throat and I'm like, well, nope, that's strep. Like the red dots all over the back and on the tongue. Oh, they reared their ugly head. I was like, okay. So then I was like, I knew it. I knew for sure at that point. So we went from like in the morning seeing nothing to 2:00 in the afternoon. He had a full on. It wasn't just red. It was like the dots all over the place, like little pin dots. I was like, oh. So, Jack, I don't know if that was meant to be like a question to do, but we're not doing any personal reads, just to let you know, hon. So, I'm good. Ami. I say names wrong all the time. Savin. Y'all are just gonna have to forgive me. I have a fat tongue. I don't know how to say shit. So, okay. All right. Well, I'm interested to see who that was for. Something happening in real time. Like, it's like you see your whole situation switch on a dime in real time. And you're like things not going for you and things suddenly going for you. And something about you feeling like, no, I know I'm right, or I know, like, you've been sensing something coming and you knew it was coming, and then it's like you suddenly know it's here, and then you're like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, and it just works out. Success, victory. And it has a lot to do with your drive, your follow through, like you. So somebody's about to see something happen for them in real time. And again, that whole, you're going to see the humor in the situation. I get like a half part of you is like, this was not funny at all. But then again, it's almost so like you were a bit dramatic with some shit for whoever this is for. It's like you might have had some dramatic moments where you dramatized it. So yeah, no personal reads. Of course, as always, if you want to book a personal reading, you can do so on my website. So, like, I actually do have a website. So. But that's only if you want to. Let's see here. Yeah, well, I want to visit, and I want to discover the creek bed there. Like, it's gonna be amazing. All right. So, like, I was claiming this in the beginning, so let's hope it comes true. Okay. Well, it's gonna come true for somebody. I'm saying I hope it's mine. I hope it's mine. I'm over here going, what have I've about, like, there's a part of me that's almost given up on moving, like getting out of here. I'm like, oh, that's not gonna happen apparently. I was trying to think, I was like, what have I almost given up on that I know needs to happen? And it's like I've really tried to work towards, and it's like, but I guess I just resolved myself. And I'm like, all that. So I'll take a spirit. I'll take it. Anywho, hope everybody has a fantastic day. Enjoy yourselves. I know. All right. Oh, shit. That was a carnelian. For anybody who wants to know, that might be significant for somebody. All right, y'all have a blessed day.